This is Carly Susu of Virtually Susu, Susu VR artist. Today, I'm going to show you every single tilt brush. Yep, that's 48 brushes in under 15 minutes. Oil paint, nice and thick. Ink, luminous and flowing. Thick paint, chunky and textured. Now I'm going to grab all these colors. I'm doing them in chakra rainbow colors. Wet paint has a sheen. Marker, really great for bright blocks of color. Tapered marker, the same thing except with a point at one end. Hinged marker, the same thing again, but with 2 points, one on each end. Again, I'm selecting everything, shrinking it, and moving it out of the way. Oops, I missed this bit. Highlighter is translucent color. Flat is a marker that has no shadows. Tapered flat is the same, but with a point at one end. And pinch flat has the point on both ends. Finally, we have soft highlighter, a fuzzy, fluffy, soft brush, which concludes our more traditional brushes. And I'm just going to gather them up and put them with the other brushes. Light is the default brush and has a lot of bloom. Fire is what it says on the tin, animated flames. And I want to move these now so that I can make room for the next spectacular brush. Embers. I use embers for lots of sparkly things. And I'm going to gather them up. Smoke is one of my favorite brushes to use for atmosphere and depth. And I'm just going to put it out of the way here, here. Snow puts sprinkly stars everywhere. And let's gather that and put it to one side. Rainbow doesn't seem to change much, even when I change the color of the brush. Still, it's a really lovely animated brush that I use a lot for disco floors. And I'm just going to put it to one side. Shrink it down a bit. And I think I'm just going to gather everything up now. And let's just move it a little bit. Stars sprinkle and twinkle. Gather them up and shrink them down. Velvet ink is translucent. Waveform is an electric animated brush. Splatter. I use this one a lot for trees and foliage. Duct tape is flat with texture. Paper is another flat brush. So this is starting to look really colorful and wow, going to shrink it and play with it a little bit. You can do anything with these brushes. Tiny, tiny, enormous, enormous. So I'm gonna just park them over there. Coarse bristle is one of my favorites, and I use it a lot for texturing and paint effects and shading. Dr. Wiggles is a funny little vibrating, quivering brush. Electricity, great for the Frankenstein lab and bolts of lightning. Streamers are animated, flashing streaks of light. I use them a lot for traffic and city scenes. And it's time to move this lot, and let's put it here. Hypercolor is another one of those brushes that doesn't seem to change much no matter what color you start off with, but it's just so lush that I love using it. I want to shrink everything down for the next bit. Bubbles! And I really want to make the world smaller and larger, make the bubbles smaller and larger. They're so much fun. Neon pulse is a strobe of light. Cell vinyl has a black outline which gives it a cartoonish look. I often use it for leaves in my jungles and forests. Hypergrid is a weird animated brush. I use it for antenna a lot. And it's time to gather and move the world. Let's enlarge and move this all a little bit as a lovely backdrop. Lightwire has a kind of fairy light, Christmas light effect. You can see it much better, the flashing lights, when I enlarge it. Chromatic wave always reminds me of DNA and looks really scientific. Dots. I love using these for city lights and little windows. We're on to the last page, the final 12. And so I'm just going to gather these up. Petal is a kind of bluebell flower shape, which is lots of fun. Now is a good time to show you that you can play with the lighting to get different effects, cast different shadows on your pieces. Icing. The next 3 brushes are tubular. Icing has a texture. Tune is a tubular 3D brush with a black outline. Wire has a blunt end and a pointed end. Spikes is a triangular 3D brush. Lofted is the same but has 4 sides. Disco is a crazy animated brush, and I often use it for moving water. It's time to gather and move everything. Comet, well, comet looks like the tail of a comet. Shiny hull is the first of 4 volume brushes, and this one has a shiny surface. Matte hull is the same, but with a non-reflective surface. Unlit hull has no shadows. And I'm going to gather everything up to make room for my absolute favorite, the final brush, Diamond, or Diamond Hull, which is an exquisite volume brush I use to make crystals and all kinds of wonders. And there you have it, 48 brushes in under 15 minutes. Have lots of fun experimenting and playing with these brushes. There's so much you can do. It's limitless possibilities. This has been Carly Susu of Virtually Susu, Susu VR artist, and I love making these videos. Please subscribe so you can see all my latest VR art and tutorials. Bye!